Hello YouTube. So for this reloading video, I will be loading up some 7.62x38mmR Wadcutters. Now these will use the gas seal method. These Wadcutters have been sized down to .311. You guys probably can't see that. So, I'm dropping stuff. Pick that up in a minute. So what we're gonna do, standard practice, talking out of my mind. We're going to lubricate our brass. Hornady one-shot case lube. There, that should be pretty good. So now we're going to move to the sizing operation. Brass, as you can see, this is an RCBS Nagant sizing die. I took the decapper out because, one, I'm not decapping this brass. This is fresh PPU brass. Two, we're going to use this later on to iron out any bulges and crimp the brass at the end. So we just have 7 that we're going to do. Maybe focus this for you guys. Oops. There we go. Let's see what is going on with this piece of brass. There we go. Just gotta work it in there sometimes. And there, this is our 7th piece of brass. Alright, so if you've seen my videos before, you know that I use a RCBS hand priming tool. I already got it set up. Relatively simple. Try to get it to where you guys can get a pretty good look. Okay. Just give it a good squeeze. Oops, there we go. Once you get into the swing of things, you can get a pretty good flow going. Gives your wrist a workout. And alrighty. We are going to expand our case mount. We're only going to show you 6 since I used 1 to set the expander. So I only expand my mouths to the point where I'm pretty sure I can squeeze a projectile in. I don't like overworking the case mouth. So yeah, that's good enough. Alright, for this load we're going to be using Hodgon H110. This machine's already been calibrated, so I'm just going to add some powder to it. Just a little bit. Not loading that much up. Let's see what that is. Oh no. Alright, this is our one, so what we're going to do, click, just going to zero this powder pan. I'm only going to show you a few of these because, I mean, this can be kind of time consuming. Like I mentioned in a previous video, sometimes this thing can, the first charge will sometimes throw a wild card. It's like the machine doesn't know the first time, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm just making excuses for it. Let's see what it says. Oh, it's right on the money. So we're going to fast forward. Alright, so this stage we're going to be seating the bullet. Now this is the tricky part. With the RCBS seating die, I've messed with this thing for a couple of years now, and there seems to be no definite way, no matter how you set it, to allow you to set the bullet down in the case if you don't like push the brass all the way in there. So you have to kind of just sort of guide it in a little bit, and once you get it to the optimum level, then you just back off. Also, the seating plug isn't designed for wad cutters, which this is a full metal jacket wad cutter. It's designed for round nose full metal jackets, and so anything else you're just going to destroy the bullet, like any type of hollow points or XTPs, just destroys it. And hence, that was my reasoning for, I'm gonna guide this bullet in, try not to block your guys' vision. As you can see, I'm backing off a little bit, pushing it in, and that's good enough. Try to do it from another angle so you guys can see. Oh. Fabulous. I consider these my anti-personnel version of wad cutters. These are rated to be at somewhere between 950 950 feet per second to 1,000 feet per second. As we very well know, real world data could be something entirely different. I'm gonna have to test this load with a chronograph. I open that up just enough to where it sits in there. See, when you open this case mouth up too much, it causes problems sometimes. There we go. Zoom in. Now any bulges that form, we're just going to iron that out later. Try to zoom in for a little bit. Yep, we're going to iron out any bulges later. I remember one time I pinched my freaking hand guiding this bullet in there. Okay. I've gotten better using this die kit, but it is not my favorite. I got one more to do. There we go. That worked out flawlessly for a change. Now we're going to move on to what I would consider crimping it. Okay, so we got our sizing die with the decapper taken off back in the press. So what I do, I take a little bit of wax, make sure everything goes well. Let's put it back on there. And run it back in there. Probably need a little bit more wax on there. And I'm going to run it through a cylinder of a Nagant. So bear with me for a few minutes. That feeds flawlessly into that cylinder. So let's wrap up the last of these. Now you can use the cedar die, just take the plug out, which I've done that before. Still lube it up a little bit, and it will form that perfect crimp. That's it. That's all set. Okay, so here we have our finished product. So what I did was I actually made a change in between, moving from this the seating stage to the finished product, or moving from the crimping to the finished product. I didn't like how my bullets looked. I think they look a lot cooler when the bullet is completely recessed into the case. It would have worked if the bullet was level. But I just that cool factor when you see a bullet is, I don't know if you guys can see it, completely recessed into the case. So I mean, the original load for this calls for the bullet to be recessed in the case. So even though it was level, it wouldn't have changed too much, considering these are just wad cutters. So what I'm going to do, we're going to see if they chamber and they fit in flawlessly. Now this is loaded ammunition, so my hand is not going anywhere near the trigger or the hammer. Pretty sure somebody's going to say something about this, but the gun's not going to go off on its own without somebody pulling the trigger or the hammer. So we're going to close our loading gate without touching the trigger or the hammer. As you can see, let's go ahead and unload this for you wary warts. It even worked in this one. This one's usually finicky. Getting hung up, the loading gate open. So this load, like I said, it's estimated at 950 feet per second to 1,000. When I tested it out, I mean, cases just sort of fell out. So we're gonna see if that happens again. And that, much to my astonishment, that happened. Considering it was 9 grains of Hodgon H110. So these are going out to the range too. We're gonna have 3 different types. One jacketed hollow point, one XTP hollow point, one full metal jacket, and one Wadcutter that uses a gas seal. So if you have any questions, just ask. I mean, I'll try to answer it to the best of my knowledge. But other than that, thanks for watching.